Hi and welcome back to Storytime. This week's story is going to be Marvel Avengers Total Superhero, published by Autumn Publishing. Kamala Khan juggles her dual identities of student and person with sort of superpowers. When Jersey City is threatened, can she find the strength to become a total superhero? Let's find out. Kamala Khan was totally a superhero. Or maybe she was sort of a superhero, a person with sort of superpowers. Kamala thought that was probably more accurate. Her friend Bruno kept telling her she was a real superhero, not a sort of superhero, but it didn't feel real to her. Not yet. It was still all too new. Here's how it all started. One night when Kamala was still just a normal teen, she'd been about at the Jersey City waterfront when a strange mist started to roll off the river. It was Terrigen mist, a gas that reveals when people have special genes, a mist that can activate superpowers. When Kamala staggered out the mist, something was different. She was different. She looked like her hero, Captain Marvel. She now had the power to change the shape of her body, her face, even her size. Kamala realised that she needed a superhero identity. While she wanted to honour her all-time favourite hero by naming herself Miss Marvel, she also wanted her own look, inspired by clothing custom from her Muslim upbringing. She created her own costume. Now she was Miss Marvel, protector of Jersey City, scourge of criminals, safekeeper of corner shops, a sort of superhero. So that's how Kamala Khan became Miss Marvel. But what was Miss Marvel doing on this particular night? Nothing, Miss Marvel muttered, looking around. A cricket chirped. A few buildings away a baby was crying. It was late and everyone was home. Nobody was committing any crimes. Miss Marvel knew she should be happy about this. Peace and quiet was good. But she had been kind of looking forward to using her new powers on some evildoers. Well, I guess I'm going home, Miss Marvel said to herself. Crash! Two people barreled into an alleyway. Miss Marvel watched as they stood up and squared off. She gasped quietly. One of them was Carol Danvers herself, Captain Marvel, and the other was the Inventor. Miss Marvel squeaked. She knew all about this guy. He was half man, half bird, and all bad. Captain Marvel raised her fists. A yellow glow began to build around her hand, but before she could zap the Inventor, he fired a strange pulse of light at Captain Marvel. The ray of pulsing light wrapped itself around Captain Marvel like a squirming octopus of energy. Gah! She yelled, pawing at the tentacles of light, but she couldn't dislodge them. Miss Marvel was torn. Should she pursue the villain or should she help her hero? She made a decision and leapt down into the alley, stretching her legs impossibly long to help control her fall. The Inventor grinned and fled. Boom! The Inventor's energy field vaporized in a cloud of blinding yellow light. Captain Marvel staggered back right into a bin. Miss Marvel couldn't believe the Captain Marvel was right in front of her. Even covered in old burrito wrappers, she was so cool. You're Miss Marvel, right? Captain Marvel said. Miss Marvel was shocked. You know who I am? Of course, Captain Marvel said. The Avengers got a report that the Inventor has squirreled away a piece of the Wakanda ship, so we spread out to find it, and I'm assigned to check on Jersey City. It's your turf. Want to help me out? The two Marvels ran off, running after the Inventor. As they ran, Miss Marvel's thoughts were racing, and then, suddenly, she had an idea. There was a scrapyard about 10 blocks to the south. If the Inventor had stolen Wakanda tech, then maybe he was using it to power one of the junkyard inventions. Got any ideas? Captain Marvel asked. The scrapyard, Miss Marvel said with confidence. She pointed an elongated finger. It's down this street. Brilliant, Captain Marvel cried. Soon they arrived at the scrapyard. The Inventor was there. Miss Marvel's eyes went wide when she saw him. Adorable, he said with a sneer, looking down at the two superheroes from his stolen perch. I bet you think you can beat me. A genius scientist and a jet of my own design, complete with Wakanda tech. He punched a button and half a dozen missiles shot towards Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. Embiggen! Miss Marvel yelled. Captain Marvel raised her fists. They were shimmering with unearthly power. Thinking fast, Miss Marvel grabbed a junked car out of the scrap heap and hurled it at the inventor. Keep 'em coming! Captain Marvel yelled to Miss Marvel. Distract him! Miss Marvel picked up cars, bins, steel joists, whatever she could find, and threw them at the inventor. He dodged each one, but that meant he wasn't looking at Captain Marvel, who was glittering brighter and brighter. Boom! Captain Marvel released a blast that cut power to the ship entirely. No! The inventor cried as his ship plummeted toward the ground. Miss Marvel grabbed the ship out of the air with her embiggened hand and held it tight. The inventor squirmed and squealed, but he was stuck in the powerless ship. And just like that, it was over. They defeated the inventor together. I owe you one, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel said. Behind them, agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were hauling the inventor away. She had already called it to the rest of the Avengers to let them know that tech had been secured. T'Challa told me to thank you on his behalf. It was all sinking in. She teamed up with Captain Marvel, and they'd been a great team. Happy to help, she said, her eyes wide. Let's do this again soon. Captain Marvel smiled. I look forward to it, she said, and she stuck out her hand. Miss Marvel shook it enthusiastically. Without another word, Captain Marvel rocketed off into space. Miss Marvel stood there for a long time, watching the trail of light fade and vanish. Miss Marvel, protector of Jersey City, scourge of the inventor, and scrapyard thieves everywhere. Total superhero. So that was the story about Marvel Avengers Total Superhero, starring Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel, published by Autumn Publishing. If you've got any story, Disney characters, Marvel or Pixar characters that you like, put them in the comments below and I'll see if I've got a story that I can share with them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon.